Captain, The tentacled one could barely speak. Each energy pulse was like a knife in his entrails. I don't know how long I can—
Hold on!
The leader's 3 mouths roared. His 5 eyes began glowing with a sickly purple while his body started changing.
If we fail here, everything will have been in vain.
The corrupt energy increased. The bodies began to merge, their essence mixing with the leader's. The tentacled one screamed in pain when his core began resonating with the fusion. In the distance, they could hear sounds of battle, the slime being facing the hunter. They didn't have much time. Just a little more. The leader extended his arms. His purple skin bubbled as the Shadow Stalker's essence integrated with his being. It was pain beyond comprehension. But he couldn't stop. Not now. The tentacled one fell to his knees, purple blood flowing from his eyes. His tentacles pulsed erratically, desperately trying to maintain the connection. The complete fusion was in its final stage.
I just have to resist,
the slime abyssal tried convincing himself, while his fluid parts expanded, creating a wider defensive zone.
Just until the leader completes the fusion.
A whistle in the air, silver feathers approaching from his right. His body liquefied in that area, letting the projectiles pass through harmlessly. Zhao's voice came from somewhere in the darkness. Interesting defense, but too slow. More feathers, this time from 3 different directions. The abyssal transformed parts of his body into liquid shields, but some feathers found solid areas, drawing grunts of pain. He thought frantically that he could not keep his entire body liquid. He needed solid organs to function, and he knew Zhao knew it. A silver flash, there. The abyssal launched a wave of liquid projectiles toward where he'd seen movement, but found only empty air. Too obvious. Zhao appeared briefly in another direction, his feathers flying with deadly precision. The abyssal turned, transforming part of his torso to liquid, but wasn't fast enough. 2 feathers found his right side, which he needed to keep solid. He barely managed to deflect enough to avoid fatal damage. He roared while counterattacking with liquid whips. I'm just buying time. When the leader completes the fusion, you won't live to see it. The abyssal's eyes widened. The voice had come from all directions. Turning around, he saw feathers gleam everywhere, and then understood. The feathers that had been grazing him, the ones he'd dodged. Zhao had been creating a perimeter. A final whisper came from behind. It's over. Dozens of silver feathers returned to their owner simultaneously, all piercing the space where the abyssal stood. He desperately tried to liquefy his entire body, but it was impossible. There was always a part that had to remain solid. The abyssal's scream cut off when the feathers pierced him from every possible angle. His purple blood splattered the ground while his body tried to stay together, liquid and solid parts mixing in his agony. Zhao appeared again before the dying abyssal, but this time there was no energy in his posture. He leaned on one knee, his breathing heavier than it had been in years.
A fatal mistake.
The abyssal gurgled purple blood. The hunter is tired of hunting. The abyssal's body collapsed, its liquid parts solidifying in death. Zhao allowed himself a moment to catch his breath. The constant use of his abilities had drained more mana than expected. He thought, while standing with effort, that he had never let an abyssal escape, and he would not start tonight. But the abyssal leader wasn't planning to run anymore. A movement in the darkness made him tense. His feathers, stained with purple blood, gleamed faintly as he prepared for another confrontation. The figure that emerged from the shadows made his eyes narrow. Where before there had been an arachnid-shaped abyssal, now rose a bone-white aberration. Hundreds of tentacles emerged from its body, some thin, others thick. But what caught Zhao's attention was the face, or rather, the faces. On the creature's chest, grotesquely fused, were the features of the abyssal leader and his tentacled subordinate. The abyssal leader wasn't planning to run anymore. A movement in the darkness made Zhao tense. His feathers, stained with purple blood, gleamed faintly while he prepared for another confrontation. The figure that emerged from the shadows was a bone-white aberration, but purple veins pulsed beneath its surface like sickly rivers of corruption, each beat sending ripples across its unnatural flesh.
Impressed, Hunter?
The words resonated in a distorted manner from the creature, its tentacles undulating as if they had lives of their own, while the moonlight revealed its true form in all its horrific glory. Hundreds of tentacles emerged from its body, but what caught Zhao's attention was the face, or rather, the faces. On the creature's chest, grotesquely fused like a twisted sculpture, were the features of the abyssal leader and his tentacled subordinate, their expressions frozen in a moment of eternal agony. It hadn't been a fusion. It had been an absorption, a betrayal made flesh. That had been his true plan. His own subordinate, a dead Shadow Stalker male's body. Impossible. Of course it wouldn't work alone. It needed fresh material. What he hadn't told his lackey was that with a dead body, it wouldn't work. So during the fusion, some of his entrails had connected with the tentacled abyssal and absorbed him too. A perfect betrayal, hidden behind false promises of a shared victory. Now it was capable of controlling long tentacles, absorbing energy, and controlling male Shadow Stalkers, a combination that made it a nightmare given form.
Hello again, Zhao.
The voice sounded distorted, but also vengeful, each word dripping with years of cultivated hatred.
Do you remember the Ravencrofts?
Something in that name made Zhao tense imperceptibly, a memory surfacing from years of hunting.
Wait, that's not the end. You've just had a free taste. Now get the full story on the Pocket FM app, link in description. Check out our next video and playlist, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.